What was the dumbest thing you got punished for at school? Two kids got into a fist fight and I was given a detention because I was in close proximity to them when the fight started. They even told the teacher I had nothing to do with it, but she didn't listen. I've always referred to it as the proximity detention. Should have sent someone else to serve it for you, then you could have detention by proxy. The one and only time I got detention in school was proximity detention. The teacher was in training, and a few kids in the class were being loud and not listening. I think this was grade 7 or 8. She gave the entire class detention as a flex or something, but the only people who showed up were the ones who didn't make any noise. The others skipped detention and there were no consequences for it. Stupidest 15 minutes of my life. Back in middle I never got in trouble, except for this one time when I got my work done faster than everyone else, so I got sent to detention because the teacher thought I wasn't doing anything. The funny thing is when I arrived, even the administrator watching the detention students had a shocked look on their face because they would have never expected me in there. They ended up just telling me to go back to class 30 minutes later. I recognize that. At our basic school, my math was very good, brag. We had a national math test to determine which level middle school you go to. I had 0 errors, with only a handful of kids nationwide. So the teacher wrote the questions on the chalkboard and I wrote down the answer straight away. So when he was done, I was ready, but the rest of the class just started. What else was I to do but look outside? Teacher got angry at me for not doing anything, but Jay showed him I was done already. He aggressively checked my answers, only to find I made no mistakes. Oh man. I had that happen twice. Not detention but sent to the principal. One teacher was mad I was reading a book after a quiz. She said I should do my assignment if I was finished. I was done with that and showed her. She then said I should do extra unassigned problems at the end of the chapter. I asked if that was extra credit. It wasn't, so I was like, why do extra work for no reason? I clearly know it. I'd rather read. Second teacher was similarly upset and told me I should instead read ahead in the textbook. Although I think he mostly hated that I was reading Black Hawk Down in 8th grade. She made a mistake that resulted in me failing a test. Then she accused me of trying to cheat and lie to her, and punished me for it. When you're an adult and this happens to you, it's no big deal, it's just another asshole you have to deal with, but it's very different when you're a child that trusts and respects authority. I once had a test where we had to write a couple of lines using a certain tense, like write a short story using the present perfect in each sentence. Only, the assignment said write maximum 10 lines. So I wrapped up my story in 7 lines, and handed it in. The teacher deducted points for not writing 10 lines, and after I mentioned it said maximum 10 lines, she, the person who is supposed to teach me English and who should have a solid grasp on the meaning of words in that language, said yeah, but by maximum I mean minimum. Seems like you learned something from her after all. Trading Pokemon cards in 8th grade. It was considered gang activity. Any group that had 5 or more people was considered a gang and banned. School was dumb. In 1st grade me and my friends got in trouble for trading trash packs because according to teachers it could lead to problems if an unfair trade occurs. All trash packs were then banned. Also, I'm really not sure if trash packs were as popular around the world as they were at my school, but basically they're small rubber figurines that are different rarities that you would trade with your friends. Oh shit, my friends got in big shit cause a little snitch showed a picture of my friends holding up those Gander Mountain stocks for science. They were being funny, nothing was said. But the fucking kicker was that they only pulled in my black friend and asked if he was in a gang. String cheese. Amazingly, my kindergarten teacher never knew about this incredibly common food. So she kept me in for recess because I was playing with my string cheese. I'm not going to bite into it like a barbarian, Mrs. Harris. I'm in my mid-40s, I had to look up what it was right now. Then again, I don't live in the US. Keeping a kindergartner in at recess. Because of string cheese. WTF. For turning in my project by myself. My teacher said it was unfair to others, even though she was aware that I did the project by myself. And the cherry on the top. Her son was in my group as well and he did absolutely nothing at all. I failed a project because of that once. Did it all by myself, told the teacher I did it alone and she said it was fine since she'd put me with the slackers. Day came to present, and I got penalized 81/100 points for not working with the other kids. They got full credit and didn't even have a presentation. They went to the front of the class and straight up said they didn't do anything and didn't care if they failed. Asked the teacher why she did that afterwards and she denied ever letting me work alone. Kids in my group happened to have rich parents that were friends with the principal. Someone sneezed and I said bless you. Disrupting class 1 hour detention. Oh, you got off lightly. Was you in a satanic-only school? A girl who said I looked at her for too long walked up and punched me in the face on my first day at a new school, before the bell even rang for first period. The principal observed this and decided I had to have provoked her beforehand, so she gave us both detention. I showed up, the other girl didn't. I got in trouble for not showing up. It turned out that the name of the girl who punched me and my name were incredibly similar. Same first name, most of the same letters of the last name. So when the person doing detention saw the names she marked the wrong one off. No amount of my arguing that I had really been there did any good until I persuaded the principal to speak to the person who marks names off and ask her which race the person was who had shown up. Only then did I get credit for it. But from then on the principal called me a troublemaker because I had pushed back at her authority. This is why I hate adults. I also hate most kids, Sue. A teacher once told me I looked at her funny in elementary school and my parents got a phone call saying that I had been rude to a teacher. I still, at 31 years old, have no idea what the fuck I did to piss this teacher off. I apparently ate carrots too loudly, got detention for eating. Exact same happened to me in the locker room. I literally just looked at somebody, and the teacher said, "No, you can't look at people like that, WTF." Untucked my shirt after school was over. That's pretty NSFW though. I got detention because I dropped a kumquat on the floor and my friend ate it. She then told a teacher, in tears, that we forced it down her throat. Lol, I have a similar story to this. Once, I tapped a girl's foot in 3rd grade. At the end of recess, I was pulled aside by my teacher who then said, "Why did you kick Patty today?" At first, I had no idea what she was talking about, so I said, "I never kicked Patty." Patty then comes in sobbing, claiming that I kicked her. Definitely one of the most traumatizing events from my childhood. If Patty is out there, you suck. I sharpened my pencil at the same time as somebody else. What were you thinking? You're lucky that you're still alive. You know that two sharps can make a blunt. I got suspended for not coming to school. Like duh. That's what I wanted. Reminds me of death penalty for attempted suicide, haha. Got sent home for coming late. Sharpened a crayon in a pencil sharpener in 1st grade. Lost recess and the principal called my mom. Mom was not amused, yelled at the principal for interrupting her workday for a minor offense, said that sharpening a crayon was hardly the first step towards juvenile delinquency. Sharpens crayon, this kid has a horrible life ahead of them. Was it one of those incredibly waxy crayons and a mechanical sharpener? In which case sharpening the crayon would have basically broken the sharpener? Because that's the only way I could understand this situation at all. Still, that would have called only for scolding the kid, not making it a whole thing. I got in trouble for my sparkly hair clips. Was like 8 years old. Had bangs cut. Teacher called it a distraction and taped them back. When I was 5 at a public Christian school, some random ass 5th grade girl just decided to sock me in the gut for some reason. I told the recess duty and she dead-ass yelled at me for interrupting her quiet time and made me sit for the rest of recess. Well, if you can't defend yourself, you can't play with the others. Holy shit, fuck crap, she is very bad and it's my most upvoted thing. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.